Well, what's up again, guys? Brian here at 3TR, here to bring you another weekly episode of my Q&A show, Titled People's Questions, episode 206. We had a much bigger episode with a lot more questions from a lot more people this time around, so jump right into them. Coming from the first one, who is a regular of mine, going by the name of JDS4696, and you want to know, why don't I have a review for Star Wars The Force Awakens? That's because I didn't like the movie at all, and it has officially dethroned A New Hope of being the worst Star Wars movie I've ever seen. So, yeah, that's why. Next question. Do I think the next Resident Evil title will have an open world gameplay style? I don't know. I don't think Resident Evil ever needs to be open world. They've tried it with a few franchises. It hasn't really worked out. I'd say just keep consistent. Just, kind of bring back the fear factor. And I think that's really all you need in order to make Resident Evil good again. Next question is, do you think Rey is Kylo Ren's sister? I don't know, I don't care. As long as his character's around, I have absolutely no plans on ever watching episodes 8 and 9. If anything, I'm more excited to see the anthology films because as much as a fuck-up as The Force Awakens was, I already know for a fact they're not going to do the same thing with Rogue One, which is why that is a movie I'm very much looking forward to and think it will be an amazing film. Going into the next 3 questions come from Santiago Scarpino, and you want to know, which is my favorite King Kong movie? I've never actually seen a King Kong movie from beginning to end. I know the whole story of how King Kong movies play out, but I've never actually seen one from beginning to end, so I can't really pick. Your next question is, what do I prefer, CGI or practical effects? I think it depends on the movie itself. Most people would prefer to be practical because it's more real and so it looks more actually there. But I'm fully aware that there are some things you just can't film with practical effects and you have to use CGI. So the question is, which situation do we have? Can this be practical or can it be CGI? And making sure not to do too much of any one thing, because sometimes there's some practical effects that you would prefer to see in CGI, and so I think you need to find a balance. Your next question is, why do 13.2 and Lightning's Return exist? I don't know, maybe the developers were smoking pot that day and wanted a paycheck, I don't know. They shouldn't exist. The next 3 questions come from the first newbie of the episode, coming from the name of, hope I say this right because I'm really bad with names, Waleed Malik, which sounds interesting. And you want to know, what are my top 5 favorite DC animated films? Okay, that's easy. I'm not going to do them in any particular order, I'll just throw them off the top of my head. Batman, Mask of the Phantasm, Batman, Joker's Return, Batman Under the Red Hood, Batman and Superman, Public Enemies, and I want to say Justice League War. I would say those are my top 5 favorite just off the top of my head. Your next question is, am I going to watch Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice? Yes, but I'm not very excited for it. Over its development time, or production I should say, they've done a lot of things I don't agree with, a lot of things I don't like, and a lot of things I'm not excited to see at all. Right now, it's sitting at like a C- right now, and just from what I know is going to happen in this film, even if I think it's an okay movie, I think the most I'll be giving is a C+. It seems like it's going to be one of those comic book movies where I'm going to watch it once and I'll never want to watch it again, which is pretty much a lot of the Marvel films for me. I already know for a fact I'm not going to enjoy this as much as the original Batman, Batman Forever, Superman 2, Man of Steel, and any of the Christopher Nolan films. I think I'm not going to enjoy it anywhere near as much as those, but I think I'll be like a good $7 well spent. Your next question is, what is my favorite incarnation and story of the Joker from the comic books? Ooh, that's an easy one. Incarnation from the comics. If you had picked overall theme, I could have given you that. I think I liked the Joker that we got from, I want to say I can't think of the name. I know it's not Infinite Crisis, but it's kind of near the Batman Endgame storyline. I think that one was consistent because the one where he tore his face off, because he kept coming back and he kept really doing a lot of really messed up stuff. I mean, if you've seen the Death of the Family storyline, that Joker I know continues on into Batman Endgame. I'm not sure if that storyline is over, but the reason I liked that much was because he was a lot more effective than any other Joker I've seen from the comic books, because he was able to do so much. I mean, the fact that he was able to capture all the members of the Bat family and just mess up their heads was just bad. I mean, that was as bad of things that had happened to Batman as I had ever seen in the comic books. I mean, and I think it's possible that they both might have died. However, we're not sure exactly if that story's going to continue on, so that would be my favorite. Going on to the next question coming from Dr. Hino419, and you want to know, if I had to choose on being a cyborg ninja or another clone of Big Boss, okay, let's see, if I was another clone of Big Boss, I would have accelerated aging, so I'd probably be dead by the age of 30 or 40. If I'm a cyborg ninja, I'd be stuck in a body-like suit. So without the suit, I wouldn't be able to operate. Ooh, that's a tough one. And what's sad is that the clones of Big Boss can't reproduce, so that sucks. But when you're Cyborg Ninja, you can't produce at all, so it's kind of a lose-lose scenario. But if I had to pick, I guess a Cyborg Ninja. I mean, I'd rather be a badass than an aging soldier, so I guess that's who I pick. The next two questions come from Corey Roloff, and you want to know, what are my best and worst Bioshock games, and can I explain why? Sure, I can give you a quick explanation. In terms of worst to best, it would go Bioshock Infinite, Bioshock 2, and Bioshock the first one, which is the best one. If I could give it a quick explanation, the ending for Bioshock Infinite ruined the game. I never want to play it again. Bioshock 2 was good, however, I just didn't like its ending. I liked a lot of the elements, how you had, like, your own little sister who grew up. I thought that element was cool. And then going into 1, I think playing as, someone who was programmed, and then, I just think, I thought the twist of Bioshock was absolutely incredible. I wouldn't say that the next two games ruined that, but I just don't think they lived up to that type of suspense in terms of the gameplay style. So that's my order of Bioshock games. Next question is, have I played any of the System Shock games, which are the spiritual successor to Bioshock games? I've heard of those games, but I've never actually played them, so no. The next 3 questions come from the Oldie Boy 123, and you want to know, have I read the Darth Bane trilogy? If so, what are my thoughts on it? Yes, I've read the Darth Bane storylines, and I like how it kind of explains how the Rule of Two was set up, and exactly how he went from a collection of Sniff with the Brotherhood to Bane deciding that we just don't want any infighting. So I'll reduce it down to 2 Sith, just me, and an apprentice, which he had Darth Zana. Technically, that backfired on him in the end, if you guys know the storyline. So I thought it was great. It kind of explains why things were the way they were during the movies, which is why there weren't more Sith around. The next question is, have I read the Revan book? Yes, but a friend kind of told me it really wasn't that good. It was very inconsistent with the Knights of Republic storyline. He was right. And Revan, I think, is a little bit downgraded in my opinion. I kind of prefer how he is in the games rather than he is in the books. So yeah, there is that. And your last question is, what are my thoughts on Revan being canon? We're not sure if he is canon. I mean, Disney screwed up a lot of storylines and got rid of a lot of real, absolutely amazing storylines and characters, so we're not even sure if he is canon. I would like him to be canon, but from what I know, some people have said that they've kind of taken Kylo Ren's mask and just given it to Kylo Ren, which I think is stupid. The next question comes from Nick the Ninja, and you want to know, what is my favorite Final Fantasy class? Warrior, hands down. It's simple, using weapons, especially in Final Fantasy, I want to say 5, when you can give double, no, it's not. That's not 5, it's 6. But definitely 5. I like to keep everyone as a simple group because it makes it a lot easier to control. I mean, if I have multiple different classes, yeah, it's alright. But I've always had it so that if I need like a healer, I have plenty of items for that. I don't really need a spellcaster to do that. So I always keep all my classes warrior. And then when I get higher up, I advance to Berserker because then they can cause much more damage and take out bosses a lot faster. And the next set of questions come from Phil the Darkest March, and these are the last. And you want to know, could I do a versus matchup involving your favorite character, Rebecca Chambers? Rebecca Chambers? Okay, sure. I have a matchup I could put her in. How about we put Rebecca Chambers up against Jill Valentine? Or let's put her up against Ada Wong. Or let's put her up against Alex Wesker, even though I don't really know much about that character. That seems rather fair. Next question is, Darth Krayt versus Darth Vader, who would win? Darth Krayt, hands down. Darth Vader is a punk bitch compared to Darth Krayt. If this boy was too scared to take on Sidious, how the hell is he going to take on Darth Krayt, who is in any essence, he was probably just as, if not a little more powerful than Palpatine. And he did far more. He was far more hands-on than Palpatine ever was. So Darth Krayt would annihilate Vader without even really trying. And last question is, am I going to do more Metal Gear Solid versus matchups? Yes, of course. I have 2 more on my schedule that I'm saving for Season 3, which hopefully I'll try to get up in either March or April. And if those are the questions that you guys sent for this episode, I'd like to thank all of you guys for making this episode possible. If you guys have any more questions you'd like me to answer in next week's episode, be sure to type them in the comments down below. Make sure to get them into me before next week's. before I start filming this. And like always, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.